You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and down, throw my hands up and down, throw my head back and down. Come on now, don't forget to say you will. Don't forget to say
Hey guys, Pastor Greg Locke here. You know, I've never met anybody that's lived their life trying to disprove the existence of fairies, goblins, trolls, aliens, Bigfoot. But I've met a lot of people trying to live their whole life to disprove the existence of God.
Let me ask you something. Do parents refrain from taking their sick children to the doctor because they believe fairies will heal them? Have various groups of people been declined equal rights and overall human dignity because of goblins? Have countless wars been fought in the name of Bigfoot? Have kids been threatened with eternal suffering for disobeying aliens? Are gay men thrown off rooftops because of trolls? I don't think so.
You see, logically, you don't fight against things that don't really exist. You fight against things in which you have a sneaking suspicion that they do exist.
I swear, anytime I think I've heard the dumbest thing ever said by religious people, they prove me wrong by saying something somehow even dumber. But please go on, I'm all ears.
The fact that man has a conscience, the fact that man has a moral law built within his natural framework is proof of what the Bible says. Man is born with the law of God written on his heart. I can deny the reality of this fire beside me, but the fire is here nonetheless. And you can deny the reality of God, but the reality is he still exists. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Somebody says, well, by acknowledging his existence doesn't make it true. You're correct. But by not acknowledging his existence, it doesn't mean it's not true.
Whoa, I never thought about it that way before. I am a good person, therefore I must have been created by a good God. Holy crap, I think I'm saved now. You have opened my eyes.
So then people say, well, I can't believe in God because there's too much evil in the world. That's like saying, well, I can't believe in barbers because I see people with long hair. I can't believe in doctors because I see people dying of sickness. I can't believe in mechanics because I see people broke down on the side of the road. You have to actually go to those people for the assistance that they offer.
No, evil in the world doesn't mean that there's no God. It just means that if there is a God, he's evil, or he's at least capable of being evil, or he's just indifferent to it. But if there is a God, and he happens to be the God of the Bible, then not only is he evil, but he himself created evil. Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. And that would make sense because if the Bible is correct, God is responsible for everything in existence. Happiness, despair, sickness, destruction, and so on. So if your God is real, he is, for a lack of a better word, a jerk.
The most fundamental fact of all human life from birth to death is the reality that there is a God. So the burden of proof is not upon me to prove that there is one. It's upon you to prove that there's not one.
How can one person be so wrong? You just said the most fundamental fact of all human life, from birth to death, is the reality that there is a God. So not only are you making the claim that there is a God, but you're making another claim that life is proof of this God. Now you have a heavier burden to bear. Prove to me that there is a God, and then prove to me that life is proof of that God. On second thought, let me try out your argument. Hey, Pastor Greg, the most fundamental fact of all human life from birth to death is the reality that there is a unicorn. The fact that you're alive and breathing is evidence for this unicorn because he's a life-giving unicorn. I don't have to prove it because it's evident, so it's up to you to disprove it.
The main underlying reason for man's rejection and denial of God is future accountability, because the existence of God would mean the existence of future accountability to that God.
You just don't want Allah to be real because then there'd be future accountability to Allah. Do you see how ineffective and weak that argument is?
So here's a challenge if you don't believe in God. Go outside, lift your face and your hands toward the heavens, and shout out, if there is a God, I beg of you, reveal yourself to me. Hey, if there's no God, what do you have to lose? But he just might reveal himself to you.
I've actually done that. As a Christian, the weaker my faith in God became, the more I searched for him, which ironically made me doubt him even more. You see, at the beginning of my atheism, in a last-ditch effort to rekindle my belief in God, I prayed, begged, and pleaded with God to show me a sign that I couldn't explain away with logical reasoning. I even went on paranormal investigations with quote-unquote ghost hunter friends of mine, but the more I looked for God, or the supernatural for that matter, the more I realized two things. One, there's no evidence, and two, I wouldn't want the God of the Bible to be real anyway, 'cause he's crazy.
Well, you know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come